And a big arrest made in Edmonton today with connections to the border city. Members from a drug cartel in Edmonton are facing combined 40 drug and weapons related charges. And this gang supplies drugs to Lloydminster and area rather. La Familia, or the Family, is an international support arm for the Mexican drug cartels. The president, Jose Antonio Monterrey, was arrested on December 11th. 3 associate members were also arrested: 34-year-old Peter Allen Griffon, 28-year-old Cody Sterling Tremblay, and 34-year-old Penny Sue Fleming. All face charges including possession of drugs and possession of a prohibited weapon. Alert Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team seized $600,000 worth in drugs, including 11 pounds of cocaine, MDMA, a buffing agent, and oxycodone pills. Well, it's taken 10 years, but the man who killed a young Aboriginal mother originally from Onion Lake has been convicted of murder in a Saskatoon court today. Daleen Bossy's family spent years searching for her and seeking justice.
Douglas Hales has been found guilty of second-degree murder. The nightclub bouncer confessed to strangling Daleen Bossy, then burning her remains after a night of partying.
God, he hurt everybody, the whole family. He hurt us, he ripped us apart.
Within a day of Bossy's disappearance, her family reported her missing.
And we haven't given up hope.
It did everything it could to get police to pay attention. Yet it took Saskatoon police almost a year to seriously investigate. Clive Wayhill became police chief 2 years after Bossy disappeared.
I think it really changed the way in which we investigate missing persons.
Wayhill drove 300 kilometers to visit Bossy's family in their First Nations community.
I read the file and I knew the family wasn't happy with the police service. They weren't happy with the way the investigation had gone, justifiably so.
So what changed? He hired more investigators to pursue missing persons cases and introduced a new system that immediately records and prioritizes those cases. There are 1,600 of them every year in this city.
We have a lot of specifically young women that are in the care of foster homes or group homes, and they run away. Some of them 30 or 40 times a year. And we go through that process on every single file, because we know that they're living, a lot of them, a high-risk lifestyle, and if we don't, sooner or later one of them won't be coming back.
In the end, the police staged an elaborate undercover operation to evoke a confession from Douglas Hales. The judge accepted it was reliable and not coerced. Chief Wayhill is now the president of the Canadian Association of Police Chiefs, and it does not endorse a national inquiry into missing and murdered Aboriginal women. Wayhill says it would only delay action. Bonnie Allen, CBC News, Saskatoon.
We're learning that Douglas Hales has been sentenced to life without parole for 15 years. Well, 2015 will see more improvements to downtown, a library, and of course more road construction. This thanks to decisions made at Monday's budget meeting. But council also approves some requests for more city staff, creating jobs and increasing efficiency. Jeremy Thompson reports.
With the new detachment, the Lloydminster RCMP have a renewed presence in the city. But some officers have been spending more time in the new building doing paperwork than the RCMP would like. That's why Inspector Suki Manj was happy to hear that the city approved the $305,000 he asked for to hire 6 new support staff.
The more that the police officers have to do that, the less they're out in the streets patrolling, doing proactive policing and being out in the community.
There's also a financial benefit.
It's quite less money to have a municipal employee doing the work, the administrative work, than it would be for a full-fledged RCMP officer.
The RCMP aren't alone in getting additional employees. The city also approved $160,000 for new parks maintenance staff. However, unlike the police, they're only going to get about half of what they asked for.
We're looking at hiring 2 full-time staff and 2 seasonal staff and an additional summer student.
Their full ask from the city was $336,000 to help care for Lloydminster's 33 parks facilities, including baseball diamonds and outdoor skating rinks. Rakimowicz says they'll work with what the city gave them.
Any addition to our budget is a benefit, and we're able to increase our staff, and that's a good thing. And we realize that there are lots of asks out there, so we were happy to get what we got.
Jeremy Thompson, Newcap News.
Well, the border city is a well-known hub for hockey, and with 4 indoor rinks across the city, One in particular will soon be getting some much needed attention after a major decision was made in the annual budget meeting on Monday. As Anna Stanislaw explains, many in the community saw investing into the Russ Robertson Arena has been a long time coming.
As these young hockey players test their skills on the ice, it can often be a test trekking back into the dressing rooms.
I hate the small dressing rooms. I have a couple hockey boys and it's really tight. We get dressed at home to come here because it's so small. You can't fit 17 kids in a dressing room.
Which is why many of the parents and coaches were excited to hear the Russ Robertson Arena will be seeing an expansion thanks to $1.4 million of funding.
I believe that should go toward capital debt because that means then it's amortized over X number of years. By doing the expansion now, it's going to give us a lot of time before we have to do another arena because we can better utilize the Russ Robertson.
Built in 1976, the expansion will mostly focus on the 4 dressing rooms. The lobby and a female dressing room will be added as well. Although it's not included in the plans, residents who use it say they hope they also add an extra ice surface.
We're in dire need of more ice time, more ice here in Lloydminster. Our initiation kids already don't practice or play here at the Russ Robertson due to the small dressing rooms, the small ice surface, the cramped areas. It's just too risky to have all these kids piled in here at one time.
Sauer says proposed plans for expansion on the arena have been declined from the capital budget many times. But now with council deciding to move it to the capital debt, he says it's an investment that people will use over several years.
I believe taxpayers up to that 10 years or more should contribute. So we're all contributing somewhat each year, but not a big hit all in one year.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.